Hi everyone, it's Becky. I am back with another yoga class. Tonight's class is going to be yin yoga. So we're going to connect deep into the tissue of the body. These will be really long holds. So always listen to your body. If you feel like you've been there too long, you probably have. So back off. If you've gone too deep, back off. We will start about 3 after, so grab any props that you need, grab water, grab your mat, get yourself set up, and we'll get started shortly. If you're watching this on replay, you can fast forward to about 3 after. We will get started in just a moment. Rainy day, or it's been rainy and wet outside. It's a nice day to be introspective and take these long, slow practices. So we will get started with that in just a moment. Grab any props that you need. Grab your water. So remember, if you don't have regular yoga props, no worries. I'm sure you have things around the house that work just as well. Pillows work, blankets, just any blankets that you have. Towels work to help support your body. So grab anything that you have and get that ready for your practice. All right, we're going to start tonight in our yin practice. We're going to start, I'm thinking we're going to start in those hips. So let's start with the bottom of the feet together, knees open wide. So a lot of us have tight hips. So if your hips are really tight, go ahead and sit on something. Lift your hips up. That always helps. And when you're ready, you're just going to lean into this. This is a yin practice, so it will look a little bit different. You can drop your head and round your back instead of keeping length in the spine. You can always support your upper body. It kind of feels good to take the weight of the upper body out of the practice. Always going back to your breath in these long holds. Letting your breath calm the body. Letting your breath release. As your body begins to relax, let yourself go just a little bit deeper. just a few more breaths in this pose. Go ahead and rise back up out of it. Bring your legs together. Let's take a moment to open the front of the body. A little wiggling is always good in between these poses. They're really long. So just taking some time to let it go is always nice. And then you're going to flip over, when you're ready, over onto your belly. So much of what we do is forward. So any back bending we can bring into the practice is always nice. So we're going to do a little bit of cobra here. So elbows are underneath your shoulders. You can stay upright like this. It feels really great just to be upright like this. You can also let your head fall and you kind of sink in between those shoulders. Both are great options. Whatever feels best to you right now. I like to watch or feel my spine as I hold this one. I can feel it shifting the longer I stay here. Just breathing into that change. You're about halfway, so make any adjustments that you need to. Few more breaths here. Go ahead and release down. Just make a pillow with your hands. Rest your forehead on your hands for a moment. Letting that release out of your body. And then we're going to stay on our bellies for a little bit longer. Moving into some shoulder work. So taking that right arm straight out in front of you and then reaching your left arm underneath that right shoulder. And maybe you stay right here, or maybe you take that right arm now and reach it across in the opposite direction. Whatever option feels best right now. I know it's a little awkward, but that's okay. Noticing where you feel it and how it shifts. A few more breaths on this side. Go ahead and release your arms. And we're just going to switch sides. So you'll start with the left arm straight out in front of you. Right arm is reaching underneath that left shoulder. Now again, maybe you stay right here. It's okay if you do. It's still a nice stretch. But if you like, maybe you take that left arm and reach it in the opposite direction. A few more breaths here. Go ahead and release your arms. We're staying on your belly for this next set. We're going to stretch out the front of your shoulders. We're going right into it. Take that right arm straight out to your side. And then you're rolling towards that right arm as much or as little as you'd like. Now you can take that left leg and use it, prop it behind you to support yourself. You can have it in front. Your left hand can also be used to support yourself. Open the front of the shoulder. come back to the center. We're just going over to the opposite side. So your left arm is going straight out behind you. And or beside you rather, and you're rolling towards it as much or as little as you want. Mine's a lot tighter on this side, so just notice your differences. Notice if one feels easier or harder. Just about 30 more seconds here. Slowly roll back to the center. And then as you're ready, you're taking your hips back to your heels, coming into child's pose. So options here, knees can be together and you rest on top, or knees can be open wide and you rest in between. Now, if taking your head all the way down to the floor is too much, you can always place a block underneath it and keep yourself lifted just a little bit. You can also place a blanket in between your glutes and your heels. But take this time to get to know yourself. Notice how you're feeling right now, because from day to day, practice to practice, you're not the same. So take this time to get to know you in this moment. And you're about halfway through this one. Make any adjustments that you need. slowly go ahead and come out of this. You've had a lot of stillness already in the last 20 minutes. So take a moment to move however you need. Maybe it's a little down dog. Sometimes people like plank or moving back and forth. Maybe it's just a little wiggling. Whatever feels right. And then have a seat on your mat. You're going to take a moment to stretch out the front of your leg, the thighs and quads. So your left leg is out in front, and your right leg, your foot is back. Now it's important that your foot is not pointing out. It's hard on your knee. So let your foot point straight back. If you need to, you can sit on a blanket on this left side to lift yourself up. Some people, they find this is too much for the ankle, so you can take a blanket, a towel, or whatever you have handy, and just put it underneath that ankle, and that will help if that's bothering that ankle. But this is definitely something, a pose that you want to adjust if it's not feeling quite right. And it's yin, so we are going to hold it a while. Make sure you can be comfortable here. We're not looking for pain. Stretch is fine, but pain is not. So maybe you stay upright. I'm already feeling a little bit of a stretch here. But maybe you're leaning back a little bit. Some people lay all the way back on the floor. My thighs, my quads tend to be tight, so I'm not usually one of those people who lays all the way back. But find the beginning of sensation wherever that is for you. And then just let your body adjust. As it does, you'll naturally go just a little bit deeper. So maybe you lean back just a little bit more. Don't rush it. Take your time. If you find that some days you don't have a full hour to practice, go ahead and practice for just 20 minutes or 30 minutes, however long you have. It's the consistency that pays off more than how long you're practicing. So, add some stretching in, add some yoga in, or whatever it is that you're doing to move your body every day. Be consistent with it. If you do it every day, you'll start to see shifts, you'll start to see changes. And you can always come back and rewatch any of the videos and any of the classes that I have on my page. If not those, try some others. There are plenty of yoga teachers out there who are online at the moment. So find something that works for you every day. Just move your body. It's especially important right now as we're at home so much. I'm still trying to be healthy. Your immune system works so much better when you're healthy. So if you're leaning back, go ahead and lean forward again. I'm going to move my right knee out to the side a little bit because I'm bringing that left foot in. And then I'm just leaning forward. So sometimes it's nice again to support your head. You can take a block or a book or whatever you have handy, a pillow, and support your head. You can use your hands if you need to. That works as well. getting into those hips a little bit. And always going back to your breath. And see if you can slow that breath down a little bit. See if you can deepen it some. So often we're doing shallow breaths and all it does is activate the body. It just gets it into this hyper state. It's really not good for you to live in that all the time. So if you can deepen your breath and slow your body down, it's really healing for it. Go ahead and rise back up. Now to come out of this, we want to be nice to that right knee. So lean over to your left side. Undo that right leg. Wiggle it. Get some blood flowing in it a little bit more. And then we're going to switch sides. So going right over to the other side. Right leg is out in front of you. Left foot is coming back. So again, you want that foot pointing back, not to the side. Staying upright if you're already feeling it. Leaning back if you're not. Again, I'm feeling it upright. Actually, I'm feeling it in my ankle. I twisted this ankle a couple months ago and it's still a little sensitive at times. So you always feel the stretch first where you're tightest, or if there's been an injury, you might feel it there. So for me, I'm not feeling it in my thigh right now. I'm feeling it in my ankle, but that's okay. Sometimes you have to go through different layers to get to where you expected the stretch. As my ankle loosens up, I'll be able to lean back a little bit more, which will change the stretch. Again, try not to rush going deeper into the stretch. Each layer that you go through is full of information. So listen to it. Don't skip it. On average, we are holding these poses about 3 minutes. Some of them have been a little bit less, but they are on average about 3 minutes. If it feels like forever, it's only 3 minutes. You have about 20 seconds left. Now go ahead and rise on up. I'm going to move my left knee out to the side a little bit. You may want to also. Draw your right foot in and then lean forward. Again, you can support your head on something. You can use your hands, a block, pillow. Settle into the pose. And if you find that you can't go as low as I can, that's normal. That's okay. It's just you. Maybe you look something more like this, where you're leaning with your arms on something. About 30, no, I'm sorry, about halfway there. Now just about 30 more seconds. Go ahead and rise on up. To come out of this, lean over to the right. Release that left leg. Wiggle your leg a little bit. And let the blood flow if it feels like it's been cut off. And we're going to stay with those hips one more time. This time take your legs wide. Now, again, it's yin, so we do get to do this a little bit differently. You can stay right here if you're already feeling a lot of stretch. You can even sit on a blanket and lift your hips up if they're really tight. But you can also lean into this. You can round your back, you can drop your head. Again, you can take something and prop up on top of it. Find the beginning of sensation here and just notice. As you feel you're loosening up, maybe you adjust whatever you're leaning on. If you're leaning on something, maybe you can go a little bit deeper. And we're going to hold this one just a little bit longer. So if gravity has helped you too much and you've gone too deep, it's starting to bother you, come up a little bit. Notice those spots that are talking right now. Notice what they have to say to you. About 30 more seconds here. Slowly go ahead and rise on up. Now to come out of this, let your hands be behind your knees and help those legs back together. Feels really good. Bring those knees in, hug them in close for a moment. And then we're going to take some time to open up the side of your body. It's an area that we don't really stretch enough. There's only so many ways that we can stretch it. But for this one, you're going to lay all the way on your back. Extend those legs all the way out. Try to be kind of centered in your mat. And then you're going to take your right foot over to the right side of your mat. And then take your left ankle over top of the right. Arms are reaching overhead. Right hand, again, or arm is going over to the right side. And left hand is going to rest in that right one. So opening up the left side of the body right now. You lean over to the right. I can feel this in so many different places. My shoulder, my arm, my hip, my leg, all up and down that side. And you might feel it a little bit differently. That's okay. got about a minute left on this side. Go ahead and come back to the center. And we're going right over to the opposite side. So the left foot is going over to the left side of the mat, right ankle over the left, left hand over to the left side, and right hand in the left. So opening the right side of the body right now. For me, this side is a bit different because I can feel it even in my abs on this side. Shoulder, arm, abs, leg, hip. It's all involved right now. You're about halfway on this side. A couple more breaths here. Slowly come back to the center. We're going to finish off with the Shavasana. You're already here, you're laying on your back, but I'm going to help you get even more comfortable. So this is one of your best Shavasanas ever. So start by just wiggling those hips a little bit. Get them as even as you can. And then you're going to lift up onto your forearms for just a moment. Those hands be flat on the mat. And then push back on those hands just a little bit. And let your upper body come back down to the floor. There should be a little bit more of your spine down on the floor right now. Makes it a little bit more comfortable for you. And then we're going to adjust the shoulders next. So take that right arm, reach it up towards the ceiling, and then reach it over to the left side. You're lifting that right shoulder up off of the floor. And then let the shoulder come back down, arm opening out to the side. We'll do the same thing with the left side. Left arm reaches straight towards the ceiling and then over to the right. Lift that left shoulder up and then lay it all the way back on the floor. Arm out to the side. Adjust your neck if you need to, or if there's anything else that needs adjusting. You can let those feet widen maybe just a little bit more, so maybe mat width apart. And close your eyes and take this time to just be. All that you've just done in your practice, your body can absorb right now in Shavasana. Nothing else to do, nowhere else to go. It's your time to just be. Self-acceptance. In the midst of difficulty, my curiosity is piqued, and I aim the lance of self-inquiry into the center of my deepest fears. I give myself permission to feel exactly what I feel, to be just as I am, and in that self-acceptance I find energy, awareness, and 1,000 gifts I never guessed were with me all along. ahead and roll over to your side. Pause there for just a moment. Rise on up to seated and sit on something. I'm sitting on a meditation cushion, but sit on a blanket, a bolster, a pillow, if you can. If you lift your hips up just a little bit, we're going to focus on our breath for just a moment before we end. So cross your legs however you like. Let your hands rest in your lap somehow, palms up, palms down. It's totally up to you. If you're comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes. And we're going to breathe in to a count of 4. So a little bit different tonight. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. And then exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. And inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll lead you through it again. Pause here. And then inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. And exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Continue with that rhythm for just a little bit longer. If you find that it's too much for you, that's okay. Just go back to a normal breath. Whatever you're doing, focus on your breath. Any thoughts, try to participate. If your mind tries to come into it, just acknowledge it and let it go and go right back into those deep breaths, counting to 4 on your inhale, pausing, and counting to 4 on your exhale if it's working for you. Take one more deep breath in. And with your exhale, let it all go. Bring your hands to your heart, palms together. May you laugh more. May you rest more. And may you judge less. Thank you for practicing with me tonight. Thank you for practicing with me on replay. Have a wonderful evening. Namaste. I'll see you next week for practice on Tuesday for a flow class and Thursday again for you. If you need any support through a yoga therapy session, let me know. You can just reach out to me with a private message and I will get back to you. Have a wonderful evening and I will see you next week.